Doing here? I just had to go outside, and it's less than 37 miserable degrees out there. Damp and cold, and you sure wouldn't want to be homeless, and we don't want a brother or sister homeless. I'm pleading with everyone: be a friend to the friendless, my friends. Okay, we've got to give a damn about others. I mean, just like they were our own children, just like they were our own brothers or sisters, just like they were our family, friends, ourselves, strangers. It doesn't matter. This is what's going to please our parents. This is our ticket to a better world, okay? This is it, man. I mean, remember, it's going to be perfect down to the smallest detail, and you have the ability to eliminate everything that bugs you, whether that be organic, and that stems from the original sin. That includes death itself, all the diseases, all the natural disasters, too hot, too cold, thorns on roses, stinging insects, everything bad, everything negative, injury from the forces of gravity, inertia, and momentum, and all that crap. None of that, nothing. Everything bad, gone. That simple. That's the promise. This is Christ said the new age is a renewal of all things, not some things, all things. That's what we have to look forward to if we're found worthy and deserving of inheriting a better world. And it's as simple as starting to prepare your heart and mind, your spirit, your soul. This little window of opportunity is precious to get your values straight, get them in line, get them in sync with your parents, your divine parents, your owner, your creator, the giver of life, your existence, everything good you've ever experienced or ever will experience. It's that simple. The one that's not responsible for anything bad had to give us free will choice. Otherwise, we were just like all the other animals out there. Mere instinct with a very, very tiny bit of imagination and ability to create. Okay, we know that. We're hugely distinctive from all the other fauna. We would all agree. We're godlike creatures. It's what it's written. We're made in the image and likeness of God. You understand? I mean, we've got cosmic roots and we've got a cosmic destiny if we choose to accept it. But we've got to pull away from this demonic scene, man. It's all based on nonsense, money, madness. It's just an evil, demonic men that sell their conscience for money and will do heinous things that normal people with an ounce of integrity and conscience wouldn't do for any amount of money. But they fall headlong into this stuff. It's all goes on constantly. We all know it. I mean, the breaching of God's law is going on constantly. I mean, we know the implications of breaching man's law and getting caught for it. We get in trouble and all that, pay penalties. But it might not be breaching God's law, a far more important law that supersedes all the laws of men by far. You understand? But constantly, day in and day out, the laws of God are being breached. Live by the golden rule, you don't have to do it. Love one another, you don't have to do it. Treat others as you would have them treat you. No, 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 no. It's screw them before they screw you. This is a rat race, stupid. Get with it. Okay, it's all about success and making a lot of money and having that advantage of wealth over poverty, because being poor is a huge disadvantage. So you know you want whatever the opposite of being poor is. You want to be rich. So I get it. God gets it. Let's just make sure that we're straight on that issue. Okay, that it's understood. But I've been trying to disseminate this thing for a long time, and there is only two directions we can go. That's it. I'm firmly convinced. It's good, like good and bad, like night and day, like right and wrong, like truth and lies. Okay, there's only one side at the end of the day we can fall on, and we want to make sure we fall on the right side. So it's all about values, getting your values straight. What is most valuable to you? Your life? Good. Well, make sure that you understand that is God's value too. Everybody else's life. Everybody is equally important because everybody is equally beloved, therefore equally valued. We're precious treasures. We need to let each other know that. We should have the highest self-esteem, be humble, and have humility have a low ego, low vanity. There's no room for that crap. And none of us are self-made unless you know how to make a human being. You're not self-made. Okay, and what you did, if you're a parent, you've got children, that was pretty much instinct, right? To mate. It's that. Look, that's all it was. Like it's what dogs and cats do, and everything else out there. We mated. We had a huge drive that was instinctually put in us to mate. That's what we did. What do we know about creating a human being from scratch? But that happened in a miraculous fashion because there is a miraculous almighty creator God at the top echelons, the loftiest, top shelf, okay, of everything in the universe and everything contained therein. There's no ifs, ands, or buts or equivocation. There's a boss, a supreme boss that has sovereign authority at the end of the day, ultimately. And these people are going down, I'm telling you. The evildoers need to know. And they need to be loved, but with rock mulch. You tell them under no uncertain terms how it's going to be. Okay, we've got to get it together. Remember, America was not going to stand if we're going to be perpetually divided. But these people, they don't have any escape plan. They don't think things out. I mean, you look historically and you see there's bloodbaths. Look at the French Revolution, for example. But if you read history, there's countless examples of this crap. It's a feudal system. It's slavery. It's theft. You understand when they deflate the worth of your money through cost of living inflation, it's a form of theft. We talk about taxes being so pernicious. People hate to pay their taxes. What do you think the cost of living is? If it's stuff you can't get away from, I mean, we're not talking luxury items here, electronics and fancy automobiles or anything else like that. No. We're talking essential human needs. So you understand what's happened here? It's very dire, very dire. They've been very successful because money is very effective at manipulating the masses. They've been stealing from us a long time. And what is slavery? It's theft. It's theft of other people's labor to enrich yourself. That's why slave drivers, I mean, there's a rhyme and a reason. There's a logic behind it. Yeah, I don't care about others. I care about myself and my family, but I don't care about others. You see how evil it is? I mean, if you were God, just put yourself in God's shoes. You want to keep it simple and childlike? Put yourself in God's shoes. How would you feel? What would be your outlet, your perspective, your perception? What is your will for your children when you see through his eyes that we're all equally precious and equally beloved? That our parents want the best for not some of their kids selectively and exclusively at the expense of the others. I mean, even a crappy parent wouldn't want that for their children. But that's the paradigm. That's the reality we have. We've been trained to accept, and we've adapted. We've acclimatized ourselves psychologically very well. And this affects our psyche. It affects every aspect of our lives. I mean, you look how much just having to deal with keys to your car, to your house, or other valuables, and the fear, the stress when you might misplace them or lose them or they get stolen. Okay, it's enormous. Why? Because there's 1 out of 1,000 people, I don't know what the stats are, that would dare enter your home or take something from you that didn't. You understand? It's staggering. So it's this tiny critical mass of really evil men at the top that are manipulating us and getting us divided at each other's throats, believing, well, it's the ship's sinking and, I'm up here in an air pocket. I'm sorry, I got to stand on your head. Like that's how it is. They're just, squishing you down. You can't get up. You can't rise because I'm sorry. It's tough, but it's every man for himself at this point, you see. That's what I mean. We're in trouble. We're down this demonic rabbit hole a long way, and the demons are ubiquitous. Everybody's dealing with their own demons. I'm dealing with my demons. I get it. I know. It's freaky, man. There's freaky crap. This world is freaky. It's a very freaky, insecure existence we're dealing with. And I don't like it. I don't like death. I don't like trauma. I don't like tragedy. I don't like it for myself, and I don't like it for anybody else. I don't like it to happen to my children. I don't want it to happen to your children. I don't want it to happen at all. And that's in line with his thinking. That's what he wants. That's logical. That's reasonable to presume these things. It's very safe to presume certain things about God. That every good quality, characteristic, and attribute is a gift. It's an endowment from on high for you to embrace and understand about God, because He's not a mystery. It's not a mystery. And we're lying to ourselves. We're deluded, self-deceived if we say it is. It's simple to understand God and His will for humanity. If it was mysterious and hidden and occult, then how would we ever learn it? How could we emulate Him and reflect Him properly and represent Him properly? So that's why it's not. It's written that lest we be like little children, you should not enter the kingdom of heaven. What is a little child like? Innocent, pure of heart? You see? I mean, thank God for God's amazing grace. He knows if we had another bite at the apple, play on words there, the original sin, and this apple from the forbidden fruit, right? The tree of knowledge of good and evil, we wouldn't do it. Those that are truly awake, the woke ones, the enlightened ones, they get that. Yeah, I would much rather be oblivious. I'd rather never even be able to sin. That it just wouldn't register. It just wasn't there. Its presence was not within me. Sin was not within me, but it is. Just as we can imagine, as long as you can imagine something sinful that makes you feel like you separated yourself from reality, what you're doing is you're feeling that sense of separation from God. That was that sense that goes back to the dawn of creation. And this allegory, this metaphor, this analogy for eating from this tree of knowledge of good and evil. We disobeyed God. And if we hadn't done that, we would have been oblivious to sin. Therefore, it wouldn't exist. We'd pay no heed, no homage. It wouldn't be a part of our reality. It wouldn't exist. It wouldn't be present in our thinking. And that, God knows that the awake ones would never would do it again. Never. And so when you get that, you know, that's a big deal. And how would it be if when, not if God gets His way. It's when God gets His way on earth, because His will is going to be established on this planet Earth. And it's going to be perfect down to the smallest detail. And you were granted the ability to imagine that world down to the smallest detail. And only if you're being dishonest can you not imagine it. And you got to understand, there won't be others taking advantage of people there. It can't be. They've got to go to that other realm. If that's what they want to do, if they want to take advantage of other people, they can't be in that realm where everybody wants to live together in peace and harmony, safety and security, freedom and prosperity. Universally. It's got to be everybody, okay? Because if there's anybody that's not right, not having a good time, it's going to be a turd in the punch bowl for everybody else. They're going to be a downer. But we got downers. I mean, this whole scene is such a downer, man. The only way I cope and contend is turning to God. And what advice do I have to give you? The best I give to my children? There's no better advice. We all need a personal, intimate relationship with our owner. That's it. That's the only hope for me, for you, for any of us. To turn this thing around, to extricate humanity from this muck and mire we've allowed ourselves to fall into, because we're in trouble, man. We're in a lot of trouble, and it's traumatic, and I don't like trauma for anybody. I'm everybody's friend. I just want the best for you and your family and friends. Because I want the best for me. I want to be happy. We've got to get along here. We've got to understand. We've got to be friends with our enemies. And say, if they choose to be our enemies, still just keep being their friend, because their choice to make you their enemy is baseless, right? There's no way they can justify it. You say, but my will for them is what God's will is for them. It's everything. It's the best for all eternity. But there's so many people that have been trained and they've been brainwashed, and they're sold hook, line, and sinker into this system, into this believing this is reality. It's all about conforming to this world system. And the definition of success is that's what's most important. And it's just about money and materialism and a great education. And, you know, we can't think all this lofty crap. That's not common sense. That's not reality. You're just a radical pipe dreaming fanatic if you're an idealist. And you're just stupid. You're foolish. You're an idiot. You're a liar. You're a phony. You've got to be. Because I know right from wrong, and right is conforming to this world system, this bad religion. I mean, people, they hate religion, this and that. They don't. It's right there. You understand? That's the irony of it. It's so ever present. It's ubiquitous. It's the government, the political priest class, and this bad religion, very authoritarian, arbitrary, and capricious rules and regulations and laws that are constantly changing. That's why we're all breaking laws, because they're changed so fast we don't know. What the hell? What's wrong? What did I do? You didn't break God's law. God's